Hello everyone, good day for all. Welcome back to Ayursamveda, a smart way to Ayurveda. Today we will be having an informative session. The National Commission for Indian System of Medicine has put forth the regulations of 2022 regarding minimum standards of undergraduate Ayurveda education. So the Ayurveda education is being carried out by Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery, that is B.A.M.S program. So duration of B.A.M.S program in this current year, it is like 3 years of program, and finally 1.5 year, that is making 4.5 years of classes and 1 year internship program. This current curriculum has been changed, and presently the 2022 batch which will be admitted soon, they will be having the change in curriculum, that is the first professional, second professional and third professional B.A.M.S will be having 18 months duration, that is 1.5 years, and finally 1 year internship will be present. So this is the 5.5 year B.A.M.S program, that is the present from the current admission students, the B.A.M.S program will be again 1.5 years each, that is first professional, second professional and third professional B.A.M.S will be having 1.5 years each, and finally 1 year of internship. So we will be dealing with the changes which had happened in the first professional B.A.M.S. Certain subjects and the number of papers and mark distributions have been changed in the first professional B.A.M.S. So we will be discussing that today. So the academic calendar for first professional B.A.M.S has been published by NCISM. So the cutoff date for the admission into B.A.M.S program has been announced as 23rd April 2022, and the commencement of classes will be from 11th April 2022, and the first 15 working days will be the induction program and transitional curriculum, and the third and fourth week of September 2022 they will be having the first internal assessment, and 3 weeks in December 22 and January 2023 they will be having the vacation, that is winter vacation, and in March 2023 third and fourth week they will be having the second internal assessment, and second and third week of July they will be having the preparatory holidays, and finally in the fourth week of July 2023 their university examinations will commence. So this is the academic calendar of the students, or for the B.A.M.S students who is going to be getting admitted. So the classes will be starting from 11th April 2022. So the pattern of the study in B.A.M.S program, there are mainly two types of things which we have to deal with, that is first is main program and then electives. So main program is the main subjects, core subjects which we have to deal with in the first professional B.A.M.S, and there will be certain electives, that is the elective subjects, that is they will be getting a list of subjects or courses from which they can select few subjects or few courses they can select, and they can study that. So this is the main pattern of the B.A.M.S program, that is main program and electives. This is common for all the professional B.A.M.S courses. So this B.A.M.S students, or the admission started, and when they admit into the colleges, the first 15 working days will be induction program, and this program is being done based on the transitional curriculum, as they have been studied till 10th or 12th or PUC, and the subjects they have studied is like physics, chemistry, maths, biology and other languages. So they should be adapted to the new curriculum of B.A.M.S. So for that purpose we have to conduct the induction program and the transitional curriculum. So we will be dealing with what are the subjects they have to study in the next 4.5 years. So such things will be conducted, or such information will be provided during this induction program. So next is the main program. This is the compulsory or the core subjects of Ayurveda which they have to study. So this main program consists of the subjects like Sanskritam eva Ayurveda Idihasa, Padartha Vijnana, Kriya Sharira, Rajana Sharira and Samhita Adhyayana 1. So Sanskritam eva Ayurveda itihasa, in that they have to study about the language Sanskrit, and Ayurveda itihasa, that is the history of Ayurveda has to be studied. So this has been changed till this current curriculum. Students were studying the Padartha Vijnana and Ayurveda itihasa along together, but now this Ayurveda itihasa has been changed and merged with the Sanskrit paper. So now Padartha Vijnana is single 2 papers. Will be dealing with the Padartha Vijnana topics only, and Kriya Sharira and Rajna Sharira as the same itself, and Samhita Adhyayana 1, that is in first professional B.A.M.S. The subject which were being dealt with was Ashtanga Hridaya, that is Maulika Siddhanta evam Ashtanga Hridaya was being dealt with. That has been removed, and now Samhita Adhyayana 1 has been given. So what are the things which we have to deal with in Samhita Adhyayana 1 has not been published. And next is the electives, that is minimum 3 subjects they have to get the electives. That is, the choice will be there, list of courses will be provided. From that the students have to study 3 electives, 3 subjects or 3 courses they have to study, that is mandatory. And which courses they have to select is up to the students. So these are the subjects which the first professional B.A.M.S. students has to study with, that is Sanskritam eva Ayurveda itihasa, Padartha Vijnana, Kriya Sharira, Rachana Sharira and Samhita Adhyayana 1. So next is the different departments of first professional B.A.M.S. So one is Samhita Siddhanta and Sanskrit. This department will be dealing with different subjects like Samskrita, Ayurveda Itihasa, Padartha Vijnana and Samhita Adhyayana 1, 2, 3. That is, Samhita Adhyayana 1 is for first professional B.A.M.S, Samhita Adhyayana for second professional and Samhita Adhyayana for third professional. And Rachana Sharira will be dealing with the Rachana Sharira classes or the human anatomy, and Kriya Sharira dealing with the physiology. Next is the total working hours of first professional B.A.M.S. Total there will be 320 working days. In that 15 days will be the induction program. So thus 305 working days will be there, and thus total 1920 working hours will be there for first professional B.A.M.S. So next is the teaching hours for first professional B.A.M.S. subjects, that is total 320 working days are there. In that the lecturers and non-lecture hours has been given, that is for Samskrita and Ayurveda Itihasa 100 lectures and non-lectures are 200 hours, total 300 hours are there. For Padartha Vijnana 90 lectures and 140 non-lecture hours, and thus 230 hours. Kriya Sharira 150 and 250, thus 400 hours. Rachana Sharira 180 and 320, thus 500 hours. And Samhita Adhyayana 1 140 and 260, thus 400 hours are there. So this is the total working hours of each subject in first professional B.A.M.S. So the lectures includes didactic teaching and classroom teaching, and the non-lectures will be having various things like practical, clinical and demonstrative teaching, tutorials, seminars, symposium, etc. And the clinical or practicals will be up to 70% of the classes, and demonstrative teaching will be 30%. Next is the different number of papers and marks distribution of the subjects. So Ayurveda's Samskrita and Ayurveda Itihasa, it comprises of 2 papers, and the theory it will be carrying of 200 marks, that is 100 marks each, and there won't be any practical or clinical examination, and Viva will be there for 75 marks, and this 75 marks is for Sanskrit, not for Ayurveda Itihasa. And electives is compulsory for Samskrita and Ayurveda Itihasa, so maximum of 10 marks will be given for electives, and internal assessment 15 marks. There's practicals, they will be getting 100 marks, thus making theory and practical 300 marks together. So Padartha Vijnana, again same as current curriculum, 2 papers carrying 100 marks each, thus theory paper 200. Then it will be having a clinical or practical of 100 marks, Viva of 60 marks, electives of 10 marks, and internal assessment of 30, thus 200 marks. Thus finally theory and practical 400 marks. Kriya Sharira 2 papers, the same theory 200 marks papers are there, clinical or practical 100 marks, Viva 70 marks, internal assessment 30 marks, and thus 200 marks practical, and thus finally theory and practical together 400 marks. Then Rachana Sharira, 2 papers, theory 100 marks each, practical or clinical will be 100 marks, Viva for 70 marks, internal assessment for 30 marks, there's 200 marks, there's finally 400 marks paper. And Samhita Dhyana 1 will be having 1 paper of 100 marks. It won't be having any practical or clinical. Viva will be there 75 marks, electives for 10 marks, internal assessment for 15 marks. Thus total of 100 marks for practical, and thus 200 marks paper. So this is the mark distribution of each subject in first professional B.A.M.S. Next is regarding the electives. The electives are introduced to B.A.M.S curriculum to provide the opportunity to students to get introduced, exposed and oriented to various allied subjects, and it is required to understand the interdisciplinary subjects or approach. So it has to be conducted as online program, and 45 hours duration will be there, and it will be divided in 5 modules, and this study hours will be over and above the mentioned B.A.M.S program curriculum. That is, other than this time the electives has to be conducted, or electives courses will be dealt with. And these electives will be assessed based on the attendance and the end of each module, and average of 5 modular assessment will be considered. So the gradings are there, and as well as they will be getting certain credits also. So this is each module, 5 modules are there, and finally 3 electives they have to get passed. So for 1 credit they will be getting 2 marks. So in the 1 elective they will be getting maximum of 5 credits, and the grades also has been mentioned like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, etc. based on the grade which they obtain, and this grade is being calculated by the average of the 5 assessment. Each module the assessment will be there, so all the 5 assessments will be taken, and average of these 5 assessment will be calculated, and based on that the grades will be given like bronze, silver, gold and platinum. And this student has to qualify 3 elective subjects for each professional session, and the list of these electives will be provided. Till now we didn't get the elective list, so we will be getting that the list of electives in each professional B.A.M.S, and for each credit a student will be getting 2 marks. Thus a maximum of 10 marks will be obtained, and for the 3 electives only the student will be obtaining the marks, and the student can qualify as number of electives, but 3 only will be calculated for the marks distribution. And after the electives, after this assessment or not, the student will be obtaining an online certificate with the credits and grades which he obtained. Next is the clinical training. So till now for the first professional B.A.M.S the clinical training was not practiced, but as per this regulations from the first professional B.A.M.S itself the clinical training has to be started, and it has been mentioned that the Department of Samhita Siddhanta and Kriya Sharira has to conduct this clinical training, and the concerned teachers of these departments has to run the OPDs, and they will be doing the screening of the OPDs, and specialty OPDs has to be run by these staff, and these OPDs will be running under the clinical departments such as Kaya Chikitsa, Panchakarma, Shalyatantra, Shalakyatantra, Prasuditantra, Kaumarabhritya and Swastavritta and Agatatantra. And the teachers or the faculty who has been exposed to or expertise in this specialty fields can run this OPDs, and there won't be any OPD in the names of Kriya, Rachana, Basic Principles, Dravyaguna, etc. So the students has to involve in Prakriti assessment, Sara assessment, practicing of Nadi, then recording of Dosha, Vritti, Kshaya, Lakshanas, etc. in the clinical hours. Next is the assessment. So 2 types of assessment are there, that is formative assessment and summative assessment. So So the formative assessment has to be done periodically for understanding the performance of the students in the class, to determine how much the student is understanding about the subject, then how the learning outcome. So for these purposes we have to conduct the periodical assessment, and at the end of each topic or module or syllabus point we have to conduct the assessment. And the different evaluation methods for formative assessment has been mentioned, like practical or clinical performance, viva voce or open book test, summary writing, class presentations or workbook maintenance, then objective structured practical examinations or direct observation of procedures or small projects. So different methods has been mentioned. So by any of these methods we will be having the formative evaluation. Next is formative assessment evaluation method. The internal evaluation will be conducted. So first, after completing the 30% of the syllabus, by the end of 6 months one internal will be conducted, and at the end of 1 year or 12 months the new 40% of the syllabus has to be covered, and at that end another second internal will be conducted, and the remaining 30% of the syllabus will be covered in the third term, that is before the university examinations. So minimum 3 periodical assessment has to be conducted for each subject before the first term test, and similarly 3 for the second term and 3 before the university examinations. So this summative assessment is considered as the final university examination, and the evaluation will be double valuation system, and there won't be no revaluation as which is being present in the current curriculum. And for viva and practicals 2 examiners will be there, one from internal examiner and one is the external examiner. So first professional B.A.M.S, the first term that is 1 to 6 months they will be having 3 periodical assessment and the first term test. Second term, that is 7 to 12 months, the students will be having 3 periodical assessments and second term test, and in the third term, that is the 13 to 18 months, students will be having 3 periodical assessment and the university examination. Next is regarding the examination. Maintenance of 75% of attendance in each subject is compulsory for the examination. That is theory and practical separate attendance should be maintained. If a student fails to appear in the examination, regular examination, due to certain cognitive reasons, he will be appearing in the supplementary examination, but his non-appearance in the regular examination won't be considered, like he will be appearing as regular examination in the supplementary as well. So if a student fail in 1 or 2 subjects in the first professional B.A.M.S, then he can go to the second professional B.A.M.S and he can study, or he can be with his friends in the second professional B.A.M.S, and he can appear in the second professional B.A.M.S examination also. But by the time he has to clear the first professional B.A.M.S, supplementary examinations will be carried out in each 6 months. So this is if a student fails in 1 or 2 subjects, and if a student fails more than 2 subjects, then he won't be able to move to the second professional B.A.M.S and he has to complete the first professional B.A.M.S. And there won't be no separate classes for odd batch students, and for the compulsory internship the student has to finish or complete all these 3 professional B.A.M.S, that is first professional, second professional and third professional. All the subjects should be cleared and minimum of 9 electives should be qualified, that is 3 electives in each professional B.A.M.S he has to get qualified. And for the theory examination, 20% marks will be asked from multiple choice questions, 40% of the questions will be short answer question, and 40% marks will be of long explanatory answer questions. And the minimum marks required for passing is 50% in theory and 50% in practical. Separately, theory and practical should be passed, and this practical includes like practical, clinical, viva voce, internal assessment and electives. Next, regarding the results, So if a student is getting 65% and above, it is considered as first class, and the student getting or obtaining 75% and above is considered as distinction. And if a student is obtaining these marks in the supplementary examination, the class won't be given, or the class or distinction may not be provided. So these are the major changes which has been provided as per the NCISM regarding the B.A.M.S program. We have seen the major changes in the current curriculum of first professional B.A.M.S, and will be coming back with a list of electives and syllabus as provided by NCISM. For more updates, make sure you subscribe the channel and follow the Instagram account. Thank you for listening.